You've ruled out fuel subsidies, saying, look, last time you tried it back in 2022 under a different government, of course, didn't quite work out so well. So if not subsidies, what is the pushback or the answer to higher fuel prices? Is it increasing reserves? Is it diversifying supply chains or what?
Well, look, in the first instance, our government has actually put a pause on petrol price tax increases, which normally go up each year, and we've put a pause on that for a 3-year period in reflection of the cost of living concerns. So that is one lever that we have already exercised. And then the second thing, of course, like other countries, we're part of the International Energy Association, who naturally, when there are oil shocks, can react, and we are a voice at that table.
Okay. What about diversifying supply chains, where you get your energy from, as well as increasing reserves, though? That would seem wise.
Well, we have taken steps to ensure that petrol companies here in New Zealand are holding sufficient reserves. And in terms of diversifying supply chains, yes, we can take those steps, but ultimately, as you appreciate, oil still comes from the same places, so even with diversified supply chains, we are still going to be price takers when it comes to the international oil price.
You know, when I think of New Zealand, when most folks do, I think, you can't but think of the All Blacks, right? A fearsome bunch. How is New Zealand playing defense, though, against tariffs?
Well, look, we have incredibly resilient exporters because we have a long history of being a free trading nation that makes its way in the world by selling our products and services internationally. We were one of the first countries in the world to take off subsidies, to take off tariffs, and to say to our exporters, go out into the world and sell on that playing field. And so they are used to knocking on the doors in new markets with new customers and finding ways in. We are nimble in that sense. We have a constellation of free trade agreements across the world, across Asia, across Europe, and a long-standing reputation as a country that plays by the rules, that trades fairly. And in fact, what some customers have experienced since the tariff announcements in April is they've had global customers come to their New Zealand suppliers and say, look, can we lock in a bigger 3-year contract? Because in an uncertain world, we know we can rely on New Zealand and we want to make sure we've locked in that supply. So the dynamic isn't as straightforward as it always being negative for exporters. Of course, we would much prefer an environment in which additional tariffs weren't being added. But we back our exporters to find ways to continue to reach markets around the world with what are often superior products, very efficiently produced at good prices.
Yeah, but Wellington is in talks with Washington, no?
Absolutely, and it is our preference that there be no tariff applied through this new proposal from Donald Trump, and we will continue to press that case. We don't think that that serves America, we don't think that serves New Zealand, we don't think it serves consumers, and we will continue to reiterate that message. And it's long been our message that the world does better when trade flows freely. So we will continue to press that case.
All right. Meantime, part of your mission is to try and make the economy at home, which is not in a great place, right, more competitive, improving productivity and also attracting more foreign direct investment. So update us on how that is going, especially reforms to the Overseas Investment Act.
Well, look, New Zealand is a country of very high growth potential. We have a number of sectors, businesses and industries that have big growth prospects, but historically they have struggled to find the capital that they need to invest to grow. And we've been identified as a country that has relatively low levels of foreign direct investment. So we're tackling that as a government on a number of fronts. First of all, we're amending the law to make it easier for overseas investors to get the permission to invest here. We want to roll out much more of a welcome mat to them. Second, we're setting up an entity, Invest New Zealand, to directly connect international investors with investment opportunities here in New Zealand. And finally, we've created a golden visa, which provides rights for people to be residents in New Zealand if they make significant investments in our assets and firms. That has been a roaring success. In its first 10 weeks, that visa has had more applications than we've ever had in the past under similar regimes. There's around $1 billion of potential extra investment pledged so far. And what we've seen is that international investors around the world are saying, well, actually, New Zealand right now is a safe haven It has good trading relationships. It has industries that are poised for growth in essential areas where there is booming global demand. And we want a piece of that action. And we are making the doors open so that they can. And of course, that's great for New Zealand because it allows us to grow.